Hi everyone! So it's not very often that I actually have a complete sketchbook to show everyone, so I thought might as well make a video. I did a huge travel last year, so I went on exchange for about 7 months. I was traveling in and around, and I completed a whole sketchbook that I'm going to be showing you guys right now. And if you guys care or want to know more about my traveling and exchange experience, I made a whole video on that, and I also did a whole complete accepted art school portfolio video that got me into my exchange school, which was in England. So if you guys are interested, go check out those videos, and if not, you guys want to see my sketchbook, then keep watching. Okay, so here's my very beat up sketchbook that has been to like 5 different countries. Here we go. I think it took me like, January until I think the fall, like September. I have my little student ID here. And I also, this is like super, I love to be organized, but I kept every single page and where it was. And then once that was filled up, I did continue it, I did continue it in the back, which I'll show you guys. But literally I kept every single page name with the location just so I didn't forget. And I stuck a whole bunch of like fun things like my boarding pass and whatnot, and little like stickers here and there just to like fill up the pages that were ruined from like the markers and whatnot. So first page is Trafalgar Square. I can't say that with my accent. It literally just does not sound good, but that was the first place that I went to because I flew into London. And yeah, it was just so fun walking around, seeing all these like, just such a beautiful city and all the architecture and stuff. So I definitely wanted to add that in my sketchbook. Throughout the sketchbook, I mostly am using markers and pencil crayon to layer over top. And I also did bring my gouache paint as well. Next page, I finally went to Plymouth. I would go and skateboard here and just like go by the ocean, and it was really fun. But definitely Plymouth was a really fun place to go to school for sure. So again, just stuck a whole bunch of fun things, and then this was a church in Plymouth that I just did a little study. Yeah, nothing too special. It definitely got smudged a little bit just because this book literally was brought everywhere with me, and I didn't bring any like fixative or like anything to really lock these drawings in place, but that's okay. It was a travel sketchbook and it doesn't need to be perfect. Oh, this next page is one of my favorites. It's called Wembury Beach, and it was like the first cool like UK beach that I checked out. The first time I came here, there was people surfing, and it was just so beautiful. Like walked around a lot, and yeah, it was really nice beach. Okay, so next page is at Plymouth, the cliff kind of skyline. I went and actually drew that on a bench just sitting and looking at it. That's why it's like not very good, but it was really fun to do. Just fun to get out and experience just a sunny day in Plymouth. This is one of the restaurants down by the Hoe, and I took a picture and then I sketched it. And this is actually one of my favorite pages too. So I did gouache, and then I added details in pencil crayon, and then the details in the front, I put a little bit of pen over top. So this next page, I was just, again, sitting and sketching what I saw. And then this one is of a couple fish that I thought were really cool when I visited the aquarium in Plymouth. A comic and zine fair. I actually didn't go to that, which was funny, but I just like stuck it in there because like, well, why not? Me and my friends, we did a screen printing course, and that was just like a funny little drawing that I did really quick of one of the buildings in Newquay, I think, or Wembury. I actually don't even really remember, and then we screen printed it, so that's why it came up a couple of times, and then I collaged it in my little book. So my friend, when we would go surf, my friend had a camera, like a waterproof camera, so she took a whole bunch of photos of me and my other friend, all of us surfing. It was so fun, so I definitely wanted to add one of the photos into my book. And yeah, this was done in, again, gouache paint, just really watered down with pencil crayon. Me and my friends at Bantham Beach, another beach that we surfed at a lot. And then, of course, I had to put in the pasty company because it was just so funny, and it's just such a UK, Cornwall, Cornish thing. Super fun. So I flew to Dublin to visit my great uncle. That was a super, super fun trip. So definitely a lot of fun pages that I got to add in my sketchbook. This first one being we visited the National Gallery in Ireland, and that was one of my favorite paintings. I have the name of the painting in my sketchbook, but I can't quite remember it off the top of my head, but it was definitely my favorite, so I kind of wanted to like replicate that in my book. Just a filler page, some of the maps, and we were in and around Dublin. And then we went to some of the castles. We got to do a bunch of tours, which were really, really fun. And they were just so intricate and crazy. And I definitely didn't like do an amazing job at adding all the detail because there was so much detail, but it was still pretty fun to add to my sketchbook for sure. Next page, again, visiting some of the castles. One of the wives of the owners of the castles way back in the day, and I wanted to add that in. It was just a fun spread that I did of our breakfast table, their dog, and then we went to Trinity College to do a tour there, so I drew the bell tower because it's a very iconic landmark. Okay, so this next page, we went on a really amazing road trip to the Cliffs of Moher. Oh man, there were so many amazing things that inspired me throughout this road trip. Some of them being the amazing architecture and the amazing colorful houses that we saw, so I definitely wanted to add that. I really love this spread too because it kind of looks like a comic book vibe. There were so many amazing, like kind of rundown buildings with moss on them and so many farms, and it was just so cute. And then back home, they had a river and there was a whole bunch of swans. It was really cute. And then of course the Harry London in Dublin because it's just such an iconic pub. So here are the Cliffs of Moher. I really like this spread. I added a whole bunch of different colors and I used watercolor here with pencil crayon over top. And yeah, definitely one of my favorite pages for sure. So then after I went to Ireland, I flew to Paris to visit my aunt. So this whole kind of spring break was very much visiting family, but and again, amazing architecture, amazing food, so I wanted to add that in. A little filler page of just in Versailles, the park that we visited. And this is a really funny little moment. Me and my aunt were at a cafe just drinking some coffee, and I noticed this guy, he was like drawing us, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So then he was like drawing us for like not like a long time, but like enough that I kind of thought that it was going to be like a really, really good drawing because again, you know, you're in the city of like art and culture and whatever. So then we go over to like say hi to him, and it was literally, I'm not even joking, I copied the image that he drew of me and my aunt like line for line, and it was like just kind of a stick figure, little cartoon. It was really, really funny. So definitely had to add him in my sketchbook. So and again, another art study of Henri Matisse because we went to one of the modern art galleries. And then of course all the food that I ate, or not all the food, but a lot of the food that I ate in Paris. I had so many amazing dishes. Obviously got to try escargot. Me and my aunt and my uncle, they gave me raclette for the first time. It was so good. And then I had a lot of Lebanese food with my aunt, which was really fun to experience because I've never had much Lebanese food before. Yeah, here is the park or the gardens in Versailles. And then over here are some of the most famous sculptures in the Louvre. And I had such an amazing time going there, but it was very overwhelming because there was so much to look at for sure. And then of course, like I've been saying, all the architecture in my travels, just seeing that and how old and ancient everything was like really cool. Even just like the apartment buildings where normally people just like live and whatever. It's just so different to me coming from like Canada where all the buildings are so new. So I definitely wanted to kind of spend some time on the architecture for sure in Paris. And then I came back to England and I went on a field trip, and this was in the spring when all the flowers and the daffodils were blooming. So I definitely wanted to add that, all the rolling hills, so pretty. Next page, this was really bittersweet. It was kind of like our last barbecue as friends before I left from Plymouth. So I stayed in Plymouth for like 4.5 months, 5 months maybe. So I was there for a really good chunk of time. And yeah, these are me and my friends having a little barbecue by the beach. And yeah, definitely bittersweet looking through this sketchbook a year later because I have not seen my friends in a while and I really miss them. So, but it's really important, I think, to like make those memories last forever in artwork. So yeah, then I flew to Portugal and I spent 2.5 months living there in a surf hostel. I was in the south of Portugal, and this was just kind of like the way to the beach. They had it like marked off, and it was really cute. So I wanted to add that into my sketchbook. But before I did go to the surf hostel, this is kind of not in chronological order anymore, just because I was only in Lisbon for a day. So I didn't actually have time to do these ones. I did them when I was in the surf hostel. But flew into Lisbon, I walked around, I took so many photos that I went and I drew, and I was super inspired by all of the amazing plants that they had. I loved these purple trees. I don't even know what they're called, but it was like so pretty, and they were everywhere over the city. So again, another photo of Lisbon. I kind of forget what region we were in Lisbon, but we walked up to this kind of lookout, and I loved all the architecture, all the roofs, the orange roofs were so nice. This is the beach, Arafana, that me and my boyfriend were surfing at for most of the trip. And yeah, amazing sunsets, so pretty there. Definitely like a big highlight of the trip was just going and surfing. And yeah, so nice. I loved this beach as well, Monte Clarigo. So we surfed here a little bit. And this is another one of my favorite spreads. I used gouache, but I watered it down to make it look like watercolor, and then I used pen over top to get some detail as well. Okay, so I keep saying this, but like another one of my favorite spreads. So this is it's not a secret beach, but it kind of was hard to get to, and it was one of their national parks, so it was like protected park. And yeah, just amazing cliffs by the ocean and such fun plants, and I don't know, I really wanted to capture that in this drawing, and the ocean, the big waves and stuff. And then we took a trip as friends, all of us, down to Lagos, and they have beautiful rock formations that are very orange with crystal turquoise water. It was gorgeous. So happy and grateful that I got to experience that, and so happy that I got to, you know, make it last forever in my sketchbook. My boyfriend was fishing a lot with his friend, so we like climbed this cliff to get his fish spot. It does not, okay, my silly goofy drawing doesn't do it justice, because I genuinely think I almost died getting there. But whatever. I was actually working on the page in Lisbon with all the like buildings, so I tried to like put it in here, but with my little paint set. But yeah, this cliff, getting to this fish spot was treacherous. So I'm very happy that I didn't fall in and I didn't drop my sketchbook. But here's some of the fish that they caught, and then their favorite drink that was imported from Brazil. We drank that a lot. After Portugal, I visited my friend in Turkey for 2 weeks, and that was a really cool experience. I got to, you know, go to a country where they have a totally different culture, and it was amazing. The food there was amazing too. This is my friend's dog, and then their house and all the stuff that we had for breakfast, so I wanted to add that in. Next page is a spread of some of the architecture and the buildings that we saw, and then the food that we ate as well. I have the names for everything in my sketchbook at the end, but I just, again, don't remember off the top of my head what we were eating, but it was her mom's favorite dish, so I definitely wanted to add that in. We drank a lot of tea, of course. And then the markets were so beautiful because they had all these vibrant, amazing fruits and vegetables. And then the melons we ate there were the freshest melons I've ever eaten in my entire life, and I miss them literally every single day. I loved all the street cats that they had, the street cats and dogs, so I definitely wanted to add that into my sketchbook. And then of course we visited the sea, where I got to swim in the sea for the first time rather than just the ocean. So it was super turquoise and very warm, and it was so fun. And then we got to experience, oh my gosh, so we went on a road trip. This is also another quite detailed page that I'm actually pretty proud of. So we took a road trip to Ephesus, which is an ancient civilization, ancient Roman civilization, and it dates back to, I wrote, the 10th century BC, so insanely old and ancient. It was really hot walking around here, but I took so many photos to go back and do some sketches with. And the blue pen is a brush pen, so I was able to get really fine marks and then also really thick ones. So I thought that was pretty fun. And then I painted over top with gouache. So kind of towards the end of the trip, I think this was one of my very last adventures with my friend Lara and her family. They took us to a city called Sirins. I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. I'm probably not, but it was a gorgeous town, a gorgeous city. I think they were known for their wine, but there was a whole bunch of people just kind of sitting around the winding roads selling little dolls or dried herbs. they would have like crocheted like around the trees. Like it was literally the prettiest city I've ever experienced. It was so nice and it was so fun. I got to eat amazing food, but I was kind of losing sketchbook pages and also time to do all the artwork. So yeah, that's actually the end, and those were the last pages of my book. And again, I just have the rest of the page numbers and what, where, and when, and whatever else I wanted to add. So when I came home, this book was part of a exhibition. Oh, I haven't glued this in. I guess I'll glue that in right now. This book was part of an exchange exhibition at school. So all of the exchange people from Emily Carr came together and we did a big art show. So this was my write-up. I just said, going on exchange was truly an experience I will remember forever. I was really nervous because I hadn't traveled much before this, but it ended up being amazing. I was able to push myself out of my comfort zone in so many ways and meet the most amazing people that I'll keep in touch with for the rest of my life. I was also able to reconnect with my family over Easter break that I hadn't seen in over 10 years. Not only did I have a very social exchange experience, but an adventurous one too. I was able to surf in England with my friends every weekend, which led me to volunteering at a surf hostel in Portugal over the summer. Overall, this trip has given me more art inspiration than ever before, and a travel bug I don't think will ever go away. So yeah, that's a good segment into saying thank you so much for watching this video. My travel bug still has not gone away because next week I'm going to Tofino to do some van life with my homie, and I'm so excited. So lots of adventures and a lot more artwork on the way. So stay updated on my Instagram at AlexGraphArt. And yeah, see you guys next video. Bye.